All right, bandoliers. It's not what that word means, but we'll run with it. This is session 9 of Band of Blades, and we are at Sunstrider Camp. We've rolled up some new missions. I have 3 missions for you. 2 of them are special missions. One is just from the random generator. But they all give you rewards, and 2 of them have no, 2 of them, yeah, 2 of them do have penalties if you do not do them or if you fail at them. So let's talk about them. Um, Operation Brass Hand. Essentially, they're the bandit that you guys spared the life of and convinced to work with you guys at the end of Western Peak told you about his boss, a woman by the name of Falca, who has styled herself a bandit queen. She set up camp in the Western Mountains. And from there, she's been doing what she did to you guys. She's been raiding both the Western and Eastern roads. And so the Legion seems to believe that if she could be reasoned with, the bandits could become an asset against the undead, help fight them off a little bit. But you could also just kill her and take her stuff. Um, she's, as you could see, and from what you guys might remember from Western Peak, they were a pretty well equipped outfit. Um, Guns, explosives, horses. So not only if you kill her would her raids on the refugees would end, but Saga, in a conversation with the commander, also noted that a bunch of her raiders have to go out and deal with these bandits on the regular, and so taking out a bandit queen could free up her soldiers from bandit duty. Um, so that's Brass Hand. You'll have the choice of either killing Falca or trying to reason with her and sway her to your cause. That gives you 2 morale, no matter what. If you kill her, you get a couple supply and 1 more like box of horses, which is 3 uses. If you kill her instead, -1 time, and pressure does not increase. Sorry, if she's swayed, it's -1 time and pressure does not increase. I don't know if I said killed her twice. Um, so, and if you don't do it, no penalty. The situation is static as it is. You only have room to gain here. Jade Tiger. So when the Legion was shattered at Ettenmark Fields, you guys took who you had available and you crossed the Tigria River with the forces that survived. There were other offshoots of the Legion that were probably squads on deployment or far wing guards, people who were detached from the main camp at the time the undead sprang their attack. It looks like some of them have managed to cross the Tigria far to the north, and they fired off a signal flare, one that the Legion recognizes as a thing that is like specific to the Legion, and we can talk about what specifically that is. But for the interest of framing this mission, you know that this is like a Legion asset. This is a group of Legionnaires who survived Ettenmark Fields. Um, the Horned One attempted to do some scouting, and maybe that's what it is she was able to positively ID a couple people in Legion Guard, but before she could extract them, Silver, that devourer, the giant bat monster, was seen in the area, and so she skedoodled rather than try and extract them herself. Um, and so the mission there would be to find them, extract them, bring them back alive, and get them back into the fold. Your reward here, if you do so, you get 2 soldiers, not rookies, soldiers. They automatically joined the Legion with their first promotion, and 1 intel because they have information about the undead. If you don't, uh, it's 1 pressure. The undead might be able to interrogate them for the information they have on you. So that is what is at stake. And then Sapphire Hearts, the other special mission, 1 of the Horse Lords, his name is Netar, has thrown in with the broken, dreaming of an elevated status after they sweep the lands. Very similar to our poor boy from Plainsworth, who had the same idea, only in this case, this is a Horse Lord, not some, elder's son with some trinkets. So he's currently hosting a lieutenant in his own tent. The way lieutenant has a specific meaning in here. In this case, you have line undead, you have elites, which are like your heartless, you have infamous, who are your named elites, like Ache, and then you have lieutenants. And so this is a high ranking undead officer in his tent, and his riders are beginning to exhibit signs of corruption and blight. Um, Many of them, however, he's one of the guys that has fire mains. So your mission here is not to deal with the lieutenant, because that would be basically suicide, but rather steal his horses. If he's going to just give them to the undead, why don't you give them? Why don't you just take them? Because if you don't, he's going to give them to the undead, and they are going. You don't want to deal with undead riding fire mains. That seems like a bad idea. So you'll get some fire mains. That's what's at stake there. And if you don't, pressure will increase. Commander,
Yes.
you have 4 intel.
Do. That's a lot of questions.
So you have some questions. Or no, you have 3 intel, sorry, which gives you access to all 4 questions because one of them is 0 intel.
I would like to start off by asking how our chosen feels about the missions, as usual.
Oh boy. I should have seen this coming. Why
No
did I not
pressure.
see this coming? Okay, so uh the Horned One is probably still like, you ignored me with the horses. I showed you the ravens, you ignored me with the horses. Now we know that breaker can corrupt horses. Um you can't just let her have fire mains. Um that's just simply unreasonable and unacceptable. That would be a huge boon to the undead. Um I Does she care about a bandit queen? If she I don't think she does. She's more focused on learning about the undead, and Falca, like, if you kill her, great, you get some stuff that'll help you out there. Um uh if you talk her into helping out, great. That's useful. I think she's kind of ambivalent towards Falca. Um and with Jade Tiger, I think, I mean, Intel is kind of her big thing, and so I think she's interested in it only because there's stuff to learn from these soldiers um about our undead, and also a chance to see Silver up close, because Silver is in the area. You might be able to learn a little bit more about this devourer. I think that's the one she seems most keen and interested in. She's not willing to go up and fight it because it's kind of the same sort of predator instinct of like, um, you know, I might survive this fight, but it might cost a lot. And so she's like, yeah, you guys, but the chance to learn. Yeah.
Hmm. Let's see. What what's a challenge we might face on Sapphire Heart?
On Sapphire Heart. A challenge you might face on Sapphire Heart. I think the easy and obvious answer to that is Natar's the horse people are going to be, oh, so if the idea is to give the undead these fire mains to corrupt, probably means we're dealing with Breaker. Anytime you're dealing with Breaker, you're probably dealing with Hexed. Anytime you're dealing with Hexed, there's probably a Shadow Witch nearby. Um, so, uh, yeah. Um, I think that might answer that question pretty well. You'll be dealing with you can reasonably expect that some of Natar's uh uh horse people are probably already in breaker service. Oh, actually, I'll do you one better. There's a very real possibility that some of the horses are already corrupted. If you
Hmm.
not the fire mains, but some of the horses that you might see there um are already corrupted. You can't trust them. They're animal spies now.
Um,
I've given you way more information than I should for that question, but whatever.
got a lot of intel. What is a weakness of an infamous we've seen previously?
An infamous that you've seen previously. I feel like the only one that qualifies here is silver,
Mhm.
right? I don't think you've seen any other infamous. Well, you've seen Elia. But I feel like in the spirit of the question, I feel like silver makes the most sense. Possible weakness of silver. Oh. Is this your two intel question?
That's the two intel question. Yeah.
Okay, because one of them is like what might be a weakness, and one is like what is a weakness,
Right.
I think. Oh, what might be a craving or instinct? Okay, yeah. What is a weakness of an infamous we've seen previously? Oh, what would be a good weakness for silver? I'm gonna kick this back to you guys. I've told you um that silver was once a holy beast for Vizara, goddess of storms. Um, it is probably about 12 feet tall. It has an incredibly wide wingspan. It is somewhere between like a bat and a gargoyle. What would be an interesting weakness for this? That's not just like black shot. Breaker.
I feel like either maybe like holy symbols to its previous, like very much like how
Mhm.
a demon can't stand Christian holy symbols because it used to be, used to be a creature of God, but not anymore. Something like sunlight, or if it's a bat, maybe it relies on some sort of echolocation system that can be gemmed. So
Since it's a
like we can, yeah, fuck up its senses.
since it's a lightning type, maybe grounding it might be a weakness. Like if it's on ground, it's less effective too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. I like that. The the holy symbols to Vizara. Um, yeah, it's an interesting play, but I really like the idea that just like being grounded or being like on the ground. If you can get it on the ground and keep it on the ground, you'll have significant advantage, not only because it might not be able to channel lightning, but also because one of its favorite tactics is to grab troops and let gravity do the work. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, what's wrong with that?
And what news of the Cinder King?
Oh boy, what news of the Cinder King that I haven't already uh given with like the Cinder Guard. Um um the Cinder King is interested in something to the south. Uh, they have taken a personal interest and begun deploying other Cinder Guard, his personal guard, basically along the southern route. So if you look at the world map, let me see, you guys are on the campaign phase page. Um, so yeah, like along that southern route, like you guys took this sort of like northern inverted U shape from Western Front to Plainsworth, Sunstrider. Cinder King is interested in something more in the ballpark, he thinks, of like between Western Front and Westlake, that little sort of like stretch of land down there. Um, I don't know how you get this information. Many Bothans died for this, but Cinder Guard have been seen moving eastward along those mountains in the direction of Westlake. Does that all sound fair and fun?
So I'm thinking, as much as I hate to, skipping the Bandit Queen. um, we will secondary on Sapphire Heart with the horsies. And
Secondary on Sapphire Heart.
Primary on Silver, Jade Tiger.
Primary, Jade Tiger. Oh, close that menu. Right. Marshall. With that all in mind, with Jade Tiger as primary, Sapphire Heart as secondary, I need from you a squad for each one and specialists for each one. Jade Tiger, our primary, is going to be a recon mission, so you'll want a scout or a sniper for that extra die. And Sapphire Heart is a supply mission, which wants heavy officer or scout. Your scout is in high demand once again.
Can you say the primary was scout or sniper, and then the other one was heavy officer or scout, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I know that Gray Stocking Root would love to take a shot at Silver, but
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm thinking let's for primary, let's take our scout and our sniper, and then I think on our supply run, we'll send our officer because I think you can boost rolls, right? Yeah, so we'll definitely send our officer, and let me check our heavy. I think he's healed up. Yeah.
You do have two heavies now.
We do
Ooh.
have two heavies. Actually, let me check Rither's XP because it might not be necessary to send him. Oh no, let's send him because he's very close to leveling up again. So that might be worth the harm risk. Yeah, so on our primary, our scout and our sniper will go. So for who will play whom, I assume that we're going to be playing those characters. We will send our I still haven't made up names. Kirish is still if we don't play the people with stress from the rookies, they don't in the primary, they're not gonna get stress otherwise, right? Like it
Correct.
should
Yeah,
be
yeah.
safe. Okay.
However, I will say that if they are not played, they still have 1 HP.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah.
So yeah, if you send the Star Vipers on the primary, for example, and like Kole and Farian are played, Zaya can die just like a rookie.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Well, I haven't given people names yet. So for our let's take the Star Vipers actually on our primary. Because I'm a little worried about the stress, and if we're not going to play them, then there's no point in taking them because they also won't get XP. So let's have them rest for a hot second. We'll bring the Star Vipers, and then for our secondary, I'm just gonna assign a squad with no named people, and then I'll name them when I have to.
Sure.
So we'll send, let's say, the Shattered Lions, and then I'll make up those people when we get there.
You'll probably want to name at least 3 of them. I know you're leaving soon, but before you leave, I would love to just have at least 3 names in case
Yes.
a bad roll occurs on that next session. Because we're probably still going to
Absolutely.
play because it's just a campaign phase. Cool. Da, da, da. All right, so I have Sniper Scout and the Star Vipers on the primary. Also, change that description. This is a recon. Yes. So that is accurate. Yeah. Cool. So those are the sort of the general outline is as thus. Somewhere off to the northwest, a blue signal flare was sent up, which is something that like only the Legion might have access to. This sort of blue smoke specific flare. The Horned One either happened to be in the area or was dispatched to get more information, because theoretically, if it's a flare, anybody can fire it. And by golly, wouldn't that be awful if you got led into a trap? She was able to visually confirm, because she can turn into things like an eagle. She was able to visually confirm 2 people in Legion dress. But before she could make contact with them, she happened to notice that Silver was in the air patrolling. Now, I would safely assume, correct me if you think I'm wrong, that after deploying the smoke, the Legionnaires are probably going to go hide because the enemy can see the signal as well. So part of the mission is going to be locating them, starting at uh this flare, but first you have to get through enemy lines. So maybe we should start there. Marshall, who's leading this mission? So you have a sniper and scout. You also have, or anybody in the Star Vipers? You do have a few soldiers in the Star Vipers. So a soldier could theoretically lead the squad as well. And Benham, who is Benham playing? Or
You are free to choose, but I think if Roll20 wants to not be an S.
sorry.
I think Scarlet's Charging Hunt has been played before, so there might be enough XP there to level her up. Let me.
I don't see any XP on her at the moment.
Oh, might have been Crimson then. I might be.
Scarlet and Crimson.
Yeah, I might be.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
did play Crimson, but I don't think I played Scarlet.
Right. I mean, I'm fine, honestly. Feel free to pick whoever you like.
I guess
We've got
it's
some soldiers if you want to try out what that feels like in play.
do you think it's better to play a rookie versus a soldier? Do you
Well,
have a
if you
preference?
play a rookie, they can get XP to become soldiers, but if this mission, um, is this a mission where we can get soldiers?
Yeah, this is the mission where the soldiers are the reward.
Yeah, so if this mission succeeds, then we are gonna get a full squad of soldiers anyway. So
So I will say Farian and Zaya both are full up on level 1 harm.
Ah.
So you might
Probably.
not want to play them. Although Zaya ignores level 1 harm. She also has 3 stress already. So leaving her as NPC might be wise.
Have we actually ever played Cole?
Cole needs to be statted out.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Cole
A lot has
yeah,
happened to Cole.
yeah. Cole is back from like session 1. The first
Yeah.
mission has Adramir has a blood oath to like make sure he stays alive, but
Then I will play Scarlet because Scarlet has stats and is not injured.
okay.
Plus, she looks great. I'm excited.
So valid.
She's the fox expression.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she was originally oh no, she's still in her original squad. Yeah.
And
Okay.
she can fix anything.
Oh my
I've
She
god,
can
his
fix anything.
rig. Wow. It's bonkers. Okay, well, we'll see if there's things for Scarlet to fix. I feel like I'm almost obligated to do that, but
Yeah, I
you know,
was like, that was when I was like, ooh, let's see if we make someone like hyper specialized. And the Star Vipers are like said to be like the alchemists and the weirdos. So I was like, that makes sense. Just like this hyper focused nerd. It was like, this is just my thing. Don't ask me anything else. We'll see if
fantastic.
that works out for her.
Fantastic. So if the first goal is getting past enemy lines, oh, I haven't actually I got the answer to the question. Who's leading the squad, Marshall?
Oh,
We just get distracted.
right, sorry.
That's
I got
totally
distracted.
on me. On me.
Let's say our scout, because I think our sniper's probably gonna go off on their own. Or actually, no, Mark, you said that you wanted to play our sniper as not like an aloof person, so let's make
Yeah.
our sniper the leader. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I can do that.
Let's force him in that position.
Awesome. Everybody go ahead and pick your load. This is a recon mission, so you'll probably want to avoid heavy load. Or there'll be a penalty for it. And I kind of feel like we should take just just like a 6-minute break till like quarter after the hour, just to give Ben a little more time to pop in. And yeah, think about how on a high level you want to, worry about getting past this front line, the enemy lines. Oh, Silver's stressed. Oh no. Do you want to
She only got one box left. Maybe I
we-
shouldn't.
I will say we haven't rolled the engagement roll yet, so if you want to change it, I'm fine saying you can switch it out.
Let me see. Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should let her rest for a hot second and not give her trauma.
I mean, if she does trauma, she 1 gets an XP trigger and 2 clears all of her stress. But
Isn't that incredible?
I leave it to you.
You know what? We haven't played the Earl yet, so let's bring him.
Wait.
Why are you not statted out? I statted you out. How dare you?
Wait, are you saying Silver is not coming on the mission at all? You're just sending 1 specialist?
Does that give us a
No. Just you can send as many or as few specialists as you can't send more than 2. No, it's totally fine. I just want to make sure I'm clear of how many specialists are going on this mission. Up to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and take Silver off.
Yeah, let's bring the Earl instead so we can get to see more characters. I have to stat him out though. I thought I did that,
Okay.
but I guess
That's
I
fine.
didn't.
Well, let's go ahead and take, like I said, a good like 6-minute break. Come 16, 17, 18 after the hour, and hopefully that'll give Ben a little bit of time to deal with stuff. Pick your load, stat your character if you need to stat your character, and we'll be back shortly. Yeah. Not bad. We've been playing for a few minutes.
I don't have a good like visual idea of the landscape here.
Sure. So Horselands, the way I kind of see them is sort of like rolling hills. So it's not flat. It's not Mississippi. It's Kentucky is what it is. There are more on this side, there are more hills than mountains. There are what would normally be like verdant meadows. It would actually be very, very pretty land. But here is, I think, a little more scarce forests. So foliage is actually relatively rare, or tall trees are relatively rare. But more rocks, crags, but it's not canyons, it's not mountains, it's just kind of like, yeah, rolling hills. Like take sand dunes, make them grassy and more solid. Um, I think there are flat stretches. I think this battle is taking place probably in a meadow, so a valley, a recess in the area. There's probably a stream of some kind running through that is, we get the splashing of hooves and horses as people fight across it, and shouts and screaming, but it's horse paradise. So if that's helpful at all, if not, feel free to contribute more details as well. I'd be so keen to hear them.
I think that there is what would have been part of the stream, maybe a branch, but it's been dry for many years now, and the place where it's cut through one of the hills, we can still see like the rocks pushing out from the rolling grasses, and that's where we're hiding, behind those rocks, almost like a trench kind of.
Fantastic. So yeah, the battle's getting closer. I think let's just call it a squad, five-ish riders. Maybe they're on a wide flank, maybe, who knows, but they are moving in your direction. Not in a way that suggests they've seen you yet, but yeah, I think you get the sense that they are moving towards like maybe making a wide flank around the good guys' lines, do a deep strike. You just happen to be in the way. What do you do? Or what do any of you do, I suppose?
I think Cole is ready to charge and just fucking go for it.
Go for it. All right.
But if stopped because we don't want to give our position away immediately, yeah, could we, as sort of like a setup, could I roll a maneuver to like position ourselves for like either to hide or for a better like ambush spot?
As a setup, I almost wonder, like, would it work better
Or
as a
does
flashback, maybe?
sure, yeah.
So yeah, what is the ultimate goal here, I guess, is where I'm going. Um, better position. Oh yeah, I guess, just better position, literal
Mhm.
fictional position. Yeah.
'Cause if we can take a few of them out, that would help our ultimate goal too, without like being spotted. But it feels like we need to be quick enough to do that before we get spotted, so that's maybe where the flashback comes in.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, like maybe a few moments ago you saw them moving in, we're like, hey, let's get to a better spot.
Yeah, is it maybe like we see a little flashback, like not necessarily of this situation, but like of us getting trained in this, and maybe
Oh.
like as they sort of approach, like Adramir, like seeing them makes like, a hand sign, whatever you do, and us like Scarlet Cole, the rest of the squad, like immediately we sort of see us like spot these positions, make this like probably like pentagon shaped like have her like at equidistances from each other. Yeah, just basically like very a trained response to a situation that we've been training before, now in action.
So even not, that actually sounds like a discipline roll.
No.
I know.
Don't you do this to me.
Funny enough, it sounds like it
I've
would be
got Marshall squat
actually,
to action, command attention amidst
Okay.
chaos, coordinate fire on a target.
yeah. Sorry, I was wrong. Yes, that sounds like a martial roll, not a discipline roll, because your discipline would be like, yeah, you're trying to not get them to do stuff. I'll buy a martial. Yeah, because this feels like you are coordinating. Yeah, you're coordinating this action. And then maybe we'll do like a group maneuver. I will also say the quartermaster spent horses, so if any point anybody's like, oh yeah, there's definitely horses in this situation, we have horses. That is also a thing you can do. But for now we'll leave them as quantum horses. We need them when the fiction demands. Yeah, let's do a setup, Marshall. So what are you afraid of going wrong with this maneuver? If it goes wrong, I feel like, I mean, if the squad is involved, I feel like somebody's gonna get trampled by horses or get, hexed. Do you have any other suggestions for what could go wrong here with this maneuver?
Yeah, I was gonna say probably like separate someone from the group, or like get
Sure.
ourselves in a worse position. Like we're trying to, find the right spot, find the distance, which is all well in a trained situation, but now maybe someone does that by instinct and yeah, like gets cut off by horses or has to run away or something like that.
Yeah, awesome. Getting separated does sound perfectly valid, especially because this is just a setup. So yeah. Also, training in these maneuvers is definitely something you can do. I'm going to say this is a 0 cost flashback, but I will make you roll Marshall for it. And really kind of the only thing that, sorry, for the setup part of this, I think on a 1 to 3, it's just, either you're out of position or like, yeah, maybe they get closer, or like you said, somebody gets separated, but I kind of want to save that for the maneuver roll. But yeah. So with Marshall, you can push yourself for 2 dice. I don't, because this is a flashback, I don't think anybody is in really position to help you, maybe.
What about, I don't know. No, Adramir wouldn't have been training us. That wouldn't make sense. No, yeah.
I mean, I guess Ajamir, yeah, if you want to spend a stress to say like you drilled this squad personally, I could buy that for 1 stress and an extra die.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So it's we'll call it, flashbacks are so weird because like you roll for them sometimes, but like how can you have a risky position in a flashback?
Yeah.
Right. So I think just for the sake of like working with the interface, let's call it risky standard, but there's no real like negotiation
Yeah.
on position here. Um
The 1 bonus die. Yeah, it's just a setup, so I'm not gonna push myself yet.
yeah.
let's just try.
Okay, so it's a 3, but because it was just a setup roll, I think the only kind of thing here is just the positioning doesn't work necessarily, and I'm just gonna say like the setup just you don't want to do like no, because that kind of goes, it flies in the spirit of like PBTA and stuff like that. The fiction should change. So I think I'm gonna ride with the someone gets separated, and because we have Scarlet being played by a PC, I think Scarlet's gonna like part of this maneuver, it sounds like, is like, yeah, getting everybody set up equidistant away. But I think something happens. The horn gets blown. The retreat gets sounded, and all of a sudden the riders pivot and they are moving direct for Scarlet charging Hunt. Um, Scarlet, you have a squad of hexed on horses coming barreling at you. What do you do?
Yeah, I think we see Scarlet like fox ears like perk up and our eyes like widen with shock as the horses barrel this direction. And then like the gaze hardens and I think just gonna what am I even good at? Um only rigging. Um, I'm gonna
You're gonna die. What are you gonna do?
retreat. I just gonna try and I guess let's say that I am also on or hop on the nearest horse since there are horses, or which presumably is my horse who I got separated with. And I think start going the same direction they're going, like directly away from them, and try and wheel back and uh, at least find an outcropping to crouch behind before I can get back and reunite with the group.
Sure. Boy, oh boy. This sounds like a maneuver. Unless you
Yeah.
have a a better idea.
Maneuver's as good as anything. I don't think there's a way
Or
I can
yeah,
reasonably
scout.
use rig to get myself out of this
You
pickle.
made yourself a jetpack.
Right.
A trap, maybe. I mean, you
A
have
trap
this.
for a group this large?
I didn't say it would be the best trap in the world. You thin their numbers.
Well, you have a point. Um,
Because you have like tents and camping gear, which I know involves
I do.
stakes and ropes and canvas.
Yeah, let's do that then. I think that's more likely to succeed. So
Sure.
I don't have a lot of time, but I have an enterprising spirit, and so that's what I'm going to use.
Yeah. So I think this actually might be a good spot for a flashback. Because in the immediate moment, you definitely do not have time to set up a trap. But knowing what we know about Scarlet charging Hunt, do you think it'd be fair to say, like, when you were deployed off by yourself and told to wait here in the moment, do you think you might have been like, a tripwire might just be a good thing to have here, or something along those lines, right?
Yeah, I don't even know if it was like a tripwire might be a good thing to have. I think just like this whole time since the group has been around Sunstrider Camp, etc. I think she's been fidgeting with stuff constantly. Her hands never stop moving. And I think the flashback is like a series of little scenes where we see all along she's just kind of been making traps that would be at the right height to trip a horse, just in case. Because we've been surrounded by horses constantly. It's like a subconscious habit almost. Got to be
Mm-hmm.
making something.
Sure. So like I said, there's a certain reasonableness to this flashback. But you're supposed to score them on like a 1 to 3 or on a 0 to 3. Like, how feasible is it that that this could have been a thing that you do? But based on the way you've described it, I think I'm just gonna charge you like 1 stress for it. I don't know if that's accurate. I'm still getting a sense of like what the scale of a flashback should be. But yeah, go ahead and pay 1 stress for it and roll rig.
Risky, do we think?
Uh because this is a flashback, yeah, I'm gonna say risky. And they have scale over you. It's one of you versus them, so this is gonna be limited effect. Um,
So I could go to desperate for standard.
you could, yes, if you wanted to.
I think I
Um,
will.
before you roll though, we should talk about like what the threat is. I think the threat is that your traps are wildly insufficient. In a worst case scenario, on like a 1 to 3, you don't have time to get to your horse. You're gonna have to do you're gonna have to fight a squad of people until the rest of your squad can catch up to you, which probably means going like one round of skirmish or something. Um, uh, but on a 6, I'm just gonna say like the traps are enough. Like you might not kill all of them, but if the goal is to get away, you'll get away.
Great.
Does that all sound fair?
Yeah, I'll go to desperate standard and
Cool.
give this a shot.
All right.
No bonus dice. I'm alone.
You can
And
push. I don't know if anybody is in fictional position to give you an additional effect because the whole point is you were separated.
Yeah.
Uh,
push is 2 stress.
for an additional die, yes.
I already have 4. I think that's probably okay.
Yeah, I think you're fine. Rig.
Yeah.
We say that.
Right.
We say that like I haven't seen a well, or you get a crit. That's fine.
Or I get a crit.
Or you get a crit. Goddamn Band of Blades dice roller. It's the opposite of witch dice. Cool. Well, no, this is actually fantastic because when you make a character this specialized, they should look cool. They should do cool stuff and look cool doing it. So as we snap back to like present time, you have camping and you have camping supplies, which again I didn't want to like coach that role, but I was just trying to help with
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what could do it. But like with the supplies that you have, tell us about this amazing thing that you rigged up and like
Yeah.
how it just like deals with these horses and hexed.
And I think all we saw in the flashbacks was I was working on the like rope and stake pieces of the mechanism, but what we didn't see is that it attaches to the canvas that makes up the tent, so that when tripped, it doesn't just, trip. It also sort of almost parachute style opens up these flaps of canvas in a way that just like gets right in their faces and sort of blinds them temporarily, makes them not really sure exactly where they're going, and probably makes the horses freak out a little bit if I'm lucky. They're very well trained horses, so I don't know how lucky I am, but I did get a critical, so
Amazing. Fantastic.
should I mark off the tents and camping gear though? That seems like it might have used them all.
That sounds fair to me. Absolutely. Um, all right. So, I guess that deals with that patrol. Adramir, it takes a few seconds, but this all goes down, this all shakes down. The outriders are dealt with. I guess let's actually no, let's cut back to well, I want to get Adramir on screen doing stuff, but yeah, how do you react seeing this rookie just like single-handedly go hog wild?
I think there's before Scarlet makes any kind of move, there's like a warning glare from Adramir, like don't you fucking do it. And then a kind of like for just a second there might be chagrin and something like respect, a little tiny nod of acknowledgement, but he's not going to say it's not the time. That's going to be his excuse. It's not the time.
Awesome.
And so he just stays low.
We cut back to our sniper. This retreat has been sounded, but not everyone is following the order. Some of them are still trying to like eke out these last shades of glory. Um, what's the next step in this plan?
Seeing if any of the witches have followed the undead out, give up their position a little bit.
Cool. How are you going to go looking for them?
I think so. If they are, I imagine they'll be back towards the lines of the undead. I guess that
Yes.
means me like doing a circuit around like the far end of the battlefield, scouting around to see if um, there's anywhere like either they're coming out or that they might be secreted back there.
Sure. Well, you did say the word scout, so I think that sounds like the action that you are performing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. Oh, I'm good at that. All right.
yeah. I think I think what could go wrong here is I mean, this you mentioned taking a circuitous route, so I think more time on this clock is definitely a thing that can happen. The horse lords just continue to get walloped. Um I think you could discover a shadow witch in an unfortunate circumstance. A part of the battlefield you don't want to be on, and you get ambushed. Um, does that all sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's roll with that. Or something else that could go wrong is Breaker could become aware that the Legion is on the field.
Mm.
Because her animal scouts might see you guys and take more direct action.
Mm.
With all of that in mind, I think you're still in a risky position.
Uh-huh.
This sounds like standard effect. I don't think going to great effect will do anything here, unless you have a an offer that might translate, but or we can leave it at risky standard.
To a devil's bargain.
Devil's bargain. Mm. For scouting? Oh. Anybody feel free to chime in while I rack my head on what a devil's bargain could be here. What kind of fun stuff do you have? Uh oh, you are fast and quiet in normal load. In that case, I feel like you are in probably great effect here. But again, I just don't see how that assists other than you can translate it, you can pull it back to controlled if you want.
Right.
Um Actually, we'll just say it's controlled standard because all you need standard is to complete this. Let's see.
I have a devil's bargain idea.
Okay, well, let me hear it.
You're going to see evidence that it's not just the riders who are hexed. There are hexed horses. We can't even trust the animals anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah, that sounds great. I love that.
All right, so that's an additional die for you. Is it die or dice? Never remember. Nobody's really in a position to help. I don't think your arrow wounds affects you here just because you're scouting, not doing things with your arms. So,
all right, let's see what we got.
Yeah,
There's
success. You do it. Cool. Yeah. So you were looking for you were looking to see if the shadow witches, and I think on a success, I think you just rather than interpreting it as you succeed at scouting, I think the way I'm going to interpret this role, if that sounds fair, is they have you see the undead moving, or rather what you get from this scouting is you get the angle of approach that I think you're looking for.
Mm.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah, yeah. So
You
the
see,
angle that we can come at the witches.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You see that like all of the horse lords are the horse people are riding away to the like northeast, and so if you approach from the southwest, right,
Mhm.
um, that's what you were really looking for, right?
Yeah, if we're trying to locate where the shadow witches were. So
Yeah,
attack them
cool.
directly. Yeah.
So yeah, you see, I need a piece of terrain, a house, a building of some kind, or a terrain feature.
What about
Uh,
like a big like hedge of brambles?
sure. Um, yeah, you see a big, a big hedge of brambles, and you see three of these women in like tattered dresses, and beneath them this large glowing sigil, this orange, dark fantasy rune. Looks like, might be, if this is D&D, it'd be like a teleportation circle, a big giant glyph on the ground the size of oh gosh, the size of like, I don't know, a kitchen table, a bed. It's large, but not as large as like a room. And the three of them are standing in a sort of triangle pattern, and they're doing, yes, a small glyph the size of a large glyph. No, a large glyph the size of a large glyph. Uh, and they're doing, various sort of woogly hand motions, and you can see their lips moving. They're clearly chanting. Um, I imagine you see this through your sniper scope. Uh, I don't.
If I'm riding, it's probably like I'm
Oh,
probably just seeing them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
a bit low to get in the way. Yeah.
You catch a glimpse of them. Yes. And you also get the sense that, the horse lords are moving, so you have your angle of approach.
Mhm.
Fantastic. What would you like to do with this information?
I would like to signal the rest of the squad to come. Let's stomp them.
Okay. Are you going? Yeah. We'll just have you all like sort of
Yeah, like
reunite. I don't think we need to.
fire a shot in the air or something.
Sure. You don't have like a flare gun is like a specifically an officer piece of equipment. Um. Brr, brr, brr. Uh. Yeah. Just tell me how you signal. Just a shot.
Yeah.
Cool.
If I'm on my horse, like a shot might not stand out. So if I'm on a horse, I just like fired both guns in the air. I don't have both guns with me. Yeah, just a shot from the rifle then.
Sure. Cool. Yeah. Um. You have this really awesome Orite repeating rifle. What sound does it make that's different than like your average line soldier's rifle, that the
Um,
Legion would know that like this is your gun and this was your signal?
it makes like a like when you're it's like when you like spin one of those whistle things around a little bit when the shot goes, like just at the like crack of the shot, it has like a
Fantastic. Um, Adramir, Cole, Scarlet, I imagine you guys are all just gonna remount up and get over to him.
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic. We see you all reunited. Actually, yeah, it's been about an hour. Let's just go ahead and take a quick little 5-minute break here. I'm gonna forget to reset the recording, but we'll go ahead and take a 5-minute break, come back a little bit, just stretch the legs, and we'll get back to you guys. Literally was right there. Thank you though. Awesome. So I am going to do one more tick on the clock just to represent the time it takes to get you all back together. So the clock is now half full. Um, but yeah, we see the group of you all get back together. Well, I guess let's talk about like what is the plan? You've got an approach angle. You've got 3 shadow witches. Um, what are the thoughts? Well, let's just have the scene.
well, we want to kill those witches. um, do we? How does the squad feel about rushing in there and stomping on him?
What kind of, thank you.
Yep.
What kind of idea do we have? Like, how scared should we be of 3 shadow witches?
The main power of shadow witches comes not in their personal prowess usually, but in the stuff like what they're doing, like controlling hexed. So you have effectively removed a major part of their power. However, they can directly hex you. This is not something we've dealt with on screen in a primary mission yet. They are threat too. Yeah. So they are on a metafictional level, they are the same level. They are theoretically the same level of difficulty as a Heartless.
Okay.
So
They collectively or each one?
I kind of run them all as the same thing because I don't. Yeah. Fictionally positioning, the three of them are as strong as a single one. Although I will say, for fictional positioning's sake, they act as a coven, so they are more powerful by the fact that there are three of them than a single one might be, unless it's somebody, well, lieutenant. But there's a very, very, very powerful Shadow Witch, but she is not here. So the three of them acting together are quite strong, but physically speaking, they are undead just like any other undead. They if you can get a clean shot off on them, black shot will kill them. A lot of the trouble is just getting that shot onto them.
Yeah.
Even if we don't necessarily kill them, though, disrupting them would probably
Yeah.
be helpful.
Could be, yeah. Absolutely. If the ultimate goal here is to turn the battle in your favor, yes, that is a thing you can do. Yes, that would do it. Yes. Yes.
I have a cover fire special ability that lets me give you potency on your next action if I provide cover fire for whoever's attacking.
Okay.
Cole is also good at, I get stuff for charging into the teeth of an enemy that outnumbers and outguns you. So I don't know if that's gonna count, but
That sounds like a good way to get hexed.
But you get
Don't
more
you do it,
dice.
You get more dice.
yeah, more dice.
You get more dice.
Kind of. I think Gray's thinking is they are physically less strong, and they're concentrating. Like I think they're thinking of them like they're the sniper sitting in the bushes looking through their scope, like controlling their thing. So they are vulnerable to direct attack. And I think that means that I provide covering fire as people charge at them to at least disrupt their power.
Sure. Yeah, just to keep things like narratively and mechanically interesting, I think between a combination of the hexed horses that are all over the place, not to mention any other animal spies, if you attempt to like break cover, the moment you attempt to break cover and get line of sight on them to get their shot off close enough, the attack needs to be sprung. You see them, they're going to see you effectively.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the plan is covering fire, and they'll scatter, they'll not want to stand there in withering fire. They'll take cover pretty quickly. But if the goal is to provide suppressing and covering fire while the group charges, cool. Yeah. Let's set that up. Let me read that ability just so I can facilitate, like, let's see. When you set up someone with shoot or provide covering fire. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh wow. That is a thing you can do. They gain potency on their next action. All right. Well, the game uses that term set up, so let's treat this like what it says it is. This is a setup action.
Mhm.
You're in risky. Are you using black shot?
For cover, if the purpose of cover fire is not to, like, I'm not shooting to damage them necessarily, but to
Yeah.
make them go to cover, make them scatter and lose focus, so
Yeah.
others can get there. So probably
Cool.
not.
Yeah, so I think we're at risky standard. I don't see anything that would move us in either way, and I don't even know what great would do for a setup action necessarily. So yeah, let's call it risky standard. You're rolling shoot.
I am.
I don't know if can anybody provide you assistance for this setup action? Does anybody else have a good shot? I don't think so. So you can push yourself with 2 stress for an extra die. You can accept a devil's bargain for an extra die.
I'm just gonna push.
Okay. I will offer you the devil's bargain as an alternative of if you just vent. How much ammo do you have?
Got some.
There's your character sheet. So you have like your 5 ammo and 3 black shot. If you vent 3 ammo instead of 1, I'll give you an extra die. I'm not gonna make you spend all of it because that just feels. But this is suppressing fire. Like you're going.
Yeah. Pop, 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 pop. Cool, I'll do that then.
Cool. Yeah.
So that takes me to 4. And this is risky standard. And here we go. There we go. Success. You did it.
Cool. So setup action specifically, you either like improve people's effect, or their position. I think effect makes more sense here on top of giving them potency. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it kind of like it also doubles as a distraction, right? I'm shooting at them to make them scatter, but also they're focused on where the bullets are coming from instead of the bull rush from the side.
Yeah. Okay. So this is like a sort of pincer maneuver then.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, the roll still needs to be made. So this is you've set up your troops. Do we feel like this requires some kind of coordination? I feel like there's a couple ways this can shake out. Somebody needs to lead the main attack. It's either going to be a martial role to coordinate this attack, but Cole, you have that special ability.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have stress yet. I guess I could push myself for like only one stress because I clear 1. But I don't know, given that really good setup, if that's like gonna do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if not, I guess I would take +1 to maneuver if we like set this up as us getting to the witches.
Yeah. So this is not going to be a setup action necessarily. This is going to be you literally getting to them.
This is 100%.
Yeah.
Assault position. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna start. Do I want to start a clock here? I don't think we really need to. We're just gonna say like the maneuver to get to them, and then we'll talk about like either skirmish or shoot or what you need. But yeah. But I think this is gonna be like a group maneuver. It sounds like, to just like close the distance. And I think instantly, like once the bullets start flying, there's just this like cacophony of like flapping wings and rumbling thunder, and fog just seems to like rise out of the ground around you, as you go barreling towards these shadow witches who do in fact scatter and take cover. But yeah, you're running into the lion's den here. um that also said, though, it's 3 shadow witches. I guess if we count their animal spies, they do outnumber you. Do they outgun you?
I mean, it's
Oh
fine
yeah.
if they don't, and we keep it
Yeah,
for
yeah.
later. We don't have to force
Yeah.
ourselves to
Sure.
to
Sure,
to
sure,
use
sure.
it. Yeah.
But yeah,
I can do a maneuver. I have 2. I don't know if
let's
someone else
do
has more and wants to lead it.
let's
But
do yeah. Who wants to lead? Well, let me does anybody else want to lead this maneuver?
I also have 2.
I only have 1, so
it probably makes more sense for Adramir to lead us, given that you're the specialist, and I'll just help. I'll just help for stress.
Well, if it's a group maneuver, everybody's just going to participate is what it's going to be.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, let's do a group maneuver. Adramir, you're leading. So it's your stress on the line. Everybody's going to just go ahead and plunk in. This is going to be so because of potency, your effect increases. And actually, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the setup action increase gives you a better position, because otherwise things get really wonky. So this is going to be controlled great. So we'd be at risky standard. Potency will increase the effect. And the setup action, the other effect of the 6 on the setup has to do the other one. So yeah, we're at controlled great. Everybody just go ahead and plunk in your maneuver. There's no assist here because it's a group action. Scarlet, you're rolling for the squad.
so it's
And
so both Cole and
oh,
Scarlet
sorry,
roll
yeah.
independently, or
No,
just
no.
Cole?
Whoever has the better maneuver, so it's Cole. So yeah, Scarlet, you can sit this one out. You're just fictionally participating. Um, Adjamir and so actually, yeah, Adjamir and Cole. Go for it. Yeah, we have a 6. And Cole got a 4. So no stress. Well, yeah, no stress. And you do it. I guess give me this scene a little bit. It's hedgerows, right? So yeah, Cole, I think the risk here is, or we should have talked about this before the roll, I guess. But yeah, you're gonna start hearing like through the fog, uh the chanting of these witches. Um, but how do you find them? How do you like outpace them or find them, I guess is the question, in this thick fog. Like give us a little of the scene.
Yeah, I think I'm hearing that chanting. And Cole actually got promoted because he killed, like he took care of the squad members that got hexed, I believe, on the mission to get Voyas. So I think this is very is like eerily something that he's already been through, something that he remembers. But I think that also allows him, he remembers that chanting, he remembers like that witch and how they found her, like how they, you know, because it was Elia is her name. So it wasn't like quite the same because they're not supposed to be able to body hop necessarily. But I think there is something about like that chanting about that moment that feels familiar and that almost instinctively, I think that fear of not again, never again. He doesn't want to take out Scarlet. He doesn't want to take out Edramir or Gray or anyone else. He did it but that blood is on his hands forever. And he might be able to do it again, but every time he'll do it, like some part of him isn't coming back from that. And I think it's that fear that solidifies in this crystal clear focus. Because if it's anything else, it'll break him. So he can only use it to fuel himself and find those witches. And I think, yeah, we just see sort of this change like come over him as through the fog, listening to that chanting. Yeah, just maneuvering himself to get to those witches before they do it again.
Adramir, yeah, how do you close the ground on the rapide to get to these witches as well? And what does it feel like to be fighting this? Well, Adramir, also you've had direct contact with Breaker. How does it feel to like have these witches be trying to get into your head even as you roll through the fog?
There's definitely a part of him that wonders if they're already in his head. There's a moment of uncertainty whether what he's perceiving is actually happening or if it's actually happening as he's perceiving it. But he can only trust what's before him, trust his team and his squad, and he has to keep an eye on Kole. He can't falter now, especially not now. So he just runs hunched low, leading as best he can.
Admir, you have a choice. I think the fog at some point gets so thick. The witches have split off into 3 different directions. Actually, I'll put the ball in your court. Do you pursue one of them at a time or do you split up?
I think we have to pursue them one at a time because if they get in anybody's head with the fog the way it is, they could turn us against each other. The only way to keep safe is to stay together.
Cool. So I think you give the order. With the maneuver check, then you do catch up with one of them. She gets cornered. Mark, give me another terrain feature, another hedgerow, or
How about a let me see. How about like some a stone outcropping?
yeah. There's a just a jutting up, like take a mountain, cut it in half. There's like a sheer cliff face, and the fog starts to not necessarily thin, but you get close enough to this wall that the group of you, the squad, and Adramir, you see uh this witch with her back to you, this woman, and she's gonna turn around, and when she sees you, Adramir, she glares at you balefully, and she's gonna like reach her fingers out in your direction, and she's going to start casting a hex. Cole, Scarlet, Adramir, you're there. I think actually, and just to keep Greystalking Roots suppressing fire in there, like we actually see just like a piece of rock, just like a foot or two over her head, just like explode. Squig popped in the in the stone. But if you do nothing, she's gonna get her words and her claws and her hex into your head. What do you guys do?
I mean, Cole will stab her.
Yeah.
Unless Ben, you want to do something here?
I was planning on just shooting her in the face. Hopefully shooting her.
Um, so I think we can do this as a group skirmish. It sounds like if everybody's just kind of participating, you're dealing with fog. You're not sure that she's real. She could be an illusion. But let's just for now say that we don't think she is. Uh, what could go wrong here? I guess actually I should say that that's what could go. That is the threat. Is she could have already casted a spell. She could be an illusion, and this is you've walked into her trap. She's gonna get a hex on Adramir. Is I think what could go wrong here. Does this feel like this feels like a little group skirmish? Why not? Unless you have a better idea, Adramir.
No, I think that makes sense.
Cool. Technically, I'm supposed to let you guys choose the action, but it feels like close range combat. Skirmish is the thing that makes the most sense to me. So let's call it group skirmish. Scarlet or Cole, who has the higher skirmish between the two of you?
I've got 1.
I've got 2.
Sure.
There you have it.
Let's have you guys are still benefiting from this suppressing fire. So you guys still have potency. So you're at risky great. And it's gonna be great is what's needed to kill her. So let's just call it risky great. And there's no real assisting here because again it's a group roll. If you want to push yourself for an additional die, it's 2 stress. I don't know if there's a devil's bargain to be had here in a group roll. Let's just roll it, see what we get. Got a 5 for Cole. Into 3. Partial success. So I think what's going to happen here, you guys have scale on her. If I do my threat math correctly, it's 2, but do you have a fine reliquary, Adramir?
I do not.
You do not. So this is going to be a level 1 harm voices and 1 point of corruption. You can try and resist that if you like, but this is probably going to be a resolve resist. Yeah,
I'll resist.
okay. So you will not take harm because that reduces the level from 1 to 1 to 0.
All right, and this is not a desperate, so I don't get a +1.
Unfortunately.
A 6.
One of these days.
One of these days.
days.
Not today.
Not today, but one of these days.
On this roll, at least.
Okay. But why do you almost hesitate, Adramir, to shoot her in the face? What about her face stops you for just a second? Oh,
I'm not sure if it's so much about her face as it is about Breaker's face and that vision he had, because she had said she can't leave the Cinder King's forces, and this person might be a victim as well. And he is, if not, he's a medic. That weighs on him.
oh yeah. Um, in fact, actually, the last thing that she says, like she's reaching out her hand to you and she stops her chanting when she sees that you're about to pull the trigger. And the last words that she says are, "I'm sorry."
Oof.
And then we just hear pop, 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 pop of guns, and she goes to the ground. Also, I don't think I mentioned, but the 3 gives you 1 stress because there's a sub 4 on a group roll, so you do take 1 stress actually. Cool. By the time the fog clears, since you chose to pursue just one of the witches, the other 2 are going to be gone when the fog clears. But you've done what you set out to do. You cleared you distracted them enough to where the horse lords are now doing their redoubling back, and they're at least going to, put up a good enough fight to where you can now get past these lines. So I will go ahead and eliminate that clock. We don't need it anymore. Sorry, I should say, unless there's anything else you want to do while you're here. But again, the mission is to find the troops, not eliminate shadow witches.
The glyph-sized glyph on the ground, is it still there even if the witches aren't?
Yes, the glyph-sized glyph is still there on the ground. Would you like to do some inspecting of it?
I would.
Okay. Interesting.
Hoping for a research roll?
Yeah. It's a question of, I don't think this is a risky roll because they drew the fight away, so the fight is not here. Although, no, what are you afraid of happening here? And I feel like by looking into this glyph, when you stare into the abyss stares back, right? There might be something corrupting in in doing so. Does that feel about right or fair?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. So what's your research?
These 2.
Okay. Yeah, let's call this I think this is risky, because you're opening your mind to possible corruption. What do you I know the easy answer is you are hoping to learn something. Is there something, do you have a specific query for me that I can like tailor, like things you might possibly learn here?
If there is any way to counter their spell work, we need to understand it first.
Ah, got it. Okay. Yeah. We could possibly start a long-term project with the quartermaster, although you would probably want an alchemist. If the goal here is to eventually get like special armor against shadow witch hexes, that sounds like a long-term project, but this would at least open that door. Does that feel fair?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. Then let's do that. Yeah, risky. Effect doesn't particularly matter. Well, let's set it at standard, and a single roll might not be enough to do this unless you want to push it to desperate. To really just like,
Do I ever?
you want to go desperate? Great.
Yes.
Okay. So you're really opening your mind up to the wonders of the universe. Mark that XP, resolve, or sorry, research. You can push yourself for an extra die for 2 dice, or you can accept the devil's bargain. Who's got a good juicy devil's bargain for me here?
No matter what, I think since you were already marked by Breaker, I think you're sort of going to do like this Dracula thing where you create like a connection, but it goes both ways.
Mm.
So you can, if you push yourself, like get glimpses there, but Breaker can also do that to you.
That feels like it could have some really bad implications for our crew.
Oh, also, what you stand to risk here, because you're in a desperate position, is going to be 3 corruption on anything sub 6.
On
You
anything
can,
sub-6, huh?
yeah, yeah. That's the the complication is going to be dealing with corruption. No harm that, well, actually, theoretically, it would be harm as well. It would be 3 harm and 3 corruption. The two are kind of tied. This is really gonna fuck with your mind because that's what desperate position is. Um, yeah,
Well, what is the point of having a brain if you can't scramble it?
exactly. What's a little scrambled brain? Um, and again, you can always resist too as well. Or if you have a reliquary
Yeah,
actually that technically counts as special armor against all corrupting effects, but special armor could then be used on top of reliquaries. So yeah. Do we have any other devil's bargains? I wonder if like something like Cole sees you doing this, and because of the way that magic works in this world, it's normally a thing not to be trusted. Or maybe not Cole, but just like maybe people in the Legion start to wonder if you're in cahoots with Breaker.
Hmm.
what would that just be a narrative effect for now, or would that be making me untrustworthy?
Well, let's talk about it. We have that thing in the engagement role that says, not trusting leadership. I don't, to do it for any mission that Adramir is on is way too severe, even for a devil's bargain. Um,
What if it starts a clock?
I'm good with a clock. What size clock would you think? Like just a 4 clock, and we just make 1 tick on it, and every time Adramir does something like this, we just add 1 to it. Or let's do a 6. Let's make it a bit more friendly than that. Let's make it a 6 clock. How does that sound?
Sure, I'll take that.
Cool. But I'm gonna ask you to mark 1 tick on it to start with.
Absolutely.
Not a blank clock. Cool.
All right, so
For
that's
yeah, and when the clock fills, then yeah, people are just going to assume that you're with the Breaker and just not trust you.
cool. All right, let's hit it. Okay, that's a 6.
How?
But there are 2 1s in there too,
How?
Kevin. Like, it could be
No,
worse.
but we don't look at the one. I need trophy. I need trophy so I can be like, oh, but it's a dark 6. At least give me some bones, game. All right. But I did say that like level 3 corruption, level 3 harm was on the table for this. So yeah, I think you do. I think you make do you make, you tell me, do you make direct contact with Breaker? Do you like just phone her through this sigil? What does this look like?
He won't realize that that's what's about to happen. That letting this sigil into his head is effectively making direct contact. But when it happens and he feels her presence again, this is a great opportunity to just basically thumb his nose at her again. Like, look, you got in my head, goes both ways.
And uh I think you see her. Man, I wish I had prepped something for this ahead of time to be like, what's the cool vision that you have, like the Darth Vader, like the meditation chamber of like, I, yeah, um, Benham or Mark, like, yeah, based on what we know of Breaker, like she's undead, she's Barton, but like, what is the chamber in which we find her? Is it just like a command tent? Um, or something else?
I think it's stranger than that. I think it has to be stranger than that. I think it's I think it is a command tent, but it's situated within the ruin of a building that was important to her.
Yeah, it could be actually like a temple to Vizada.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I like the sound of that. Storm iconography just all over the place. There might even be like lightning rods, brass lightning rods, so that there's always like lightning just around her because
Extra dramatic, yeah,
yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Because why not own the image, right?
Yeah. It's worship.
Exactly. Interesting. So, yeah, I think now, like I said, you can start a project to maybe like look into uh special armor against like Shadow Witch hexes. If that's the way you wanted to go here.
Yeah, I think that could be fun.
Cool. Um at what point do you sever the connection? Like what was reaching out for you? Actually, no, I'll tell you. Um I don't know when exactly you snap the connection, but the last thing that you see before you have to close it or risk getting your brain scrambled is you see Breaker reaching out her hand towards you in the same way that that witch just was.
Mm.
Um, and as she says, "I'm sorry," everything goes up in flames. That's what you get.
Excellent.
How does everybody else feel seeing like Adramir like zonk out? Um, I what do they see? Does Adramir just like, put his hand on the ground? Does the eyes roll up back in the head? What do they see that's weird and freaky and dark fantasy?
Yeah, I like that. He crouches and his eyes are on the sigil and he just unnatural stillness for however long it takes. And then just a very quick, like when you're woken from his sleep, like he jerks his head up and just drags his boot through the glyph to wreck it. And then is kind of going to try and act like nothing just happened.
How does everybody else feel about that?
I think if you're okay with amending that a little bit, Ben, I think maybe like that moment where Breaker reaches out and you kind of snap out of it. I think maybe part of it was like Cole like physically dragging Ramir away, like assuming that you were, like this was something happening to you rather than you doing it. I think is how Cole, and later on, I think, given that we did start that clock, I think later on, when the battle isn't in full force, he will have a, oh no, kind of moment. But I think right now, like his first instinct is, oh, something happened to you. Like you didn't try to reach out, but this magic, like,
Mm.
sucked you in. So I think maybe like you snap your head back and you see Cole kind of like wide-eyed, worried, like trying to drag you away. And that's maybe when you get up and ruin the sigil.
I like that.
Anybody else, or are we good to move on? All right. We're gonna fast forward to when you first see signs of silver. We're now, because Jazzy is gonna be out next session, we're gonna push forward to dealing with silver. Like, you have to find the troops before silver. You're now behind enemy lines. It might have been a day or two. You've camped in total darkness because if you light a fire, you'll be discovered. But you're now pretty deep in undead territory. And I think the first thing that you see actually is probably one of Silver's black feathers. Not what makes it slightly, well, coat suggests silver. So I think you find this like silver feather, this pinion of Silver's, and shortly after, because this is a TV show, you hear like this inhuman cry and see just this like dark shadow moving across the sky. It hasn't seen you yet. You guys are in, call it controlled position until otherwise, but the task here now is to just find the troops before silver. What does this look like? I open the floor.
We know the last location of the flare,
Yeah,
but
it
they're
was
probably not there.
described to you by the Horned One. But actually, yeah. Jazzy, give me a building of note that might be somewhere out in this kind of horse country or wide open plains, or a terrain feature.
Yeah, I think very like odd and jarring, like it shouldn't be here, but it is. I think there's a watchtower.
Mm.
Okay.
Like maybe the empire before it was ruined thought this was a place of strategic worth, although hard to say why.
So just like a watchtower, but no fort attached to it. Just like
No, just a watchtower. That's
just
it.
people go up, like not even fire watch, like just.
Yeah, maybe like it was a beacon, maybe?
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
at the top, um like maybe we like the players can't see it, but like maybe, when the crane shot goes over, we see that this was probably one in a series of beacons that could, because you could see very far from here. So yeah, let's say it was a beacon.
Yes, the beacons are lit. Reckenmark calls for aid, or not Reckenmark. Carlsberg calls for aid. Yeah, a beacon tower of some kind, and like if you climb up to the top of it, you can see where like at the edge of the horizon there might have one time been other beacon towers like this, but that was 400 years ago. But instead at the top you find this flare gun, and that's where we find you all.
So if we needed to take cover from here, since we're up in a watchtower, like what would we see nearby that would look like a appropriate place to hunker down and wait for rescue?
Probably other hills, a stream ravine. There's probably a patch, not a forest, but a patch of trees. Um, hmm.
Maybe I could do a scout from the tower.
Yeah,
Scope,
let's
see if I can
do.
like see any signs of
Yeah, if you're going to try and track them,
yeah.
I think a
Um,
scout is absolutely fair. Hmm?
I was just gonna say we haven't seen Scarlet in a while. Is there maybe
Yeah.
something Scarlet could rig up
Oh yeah.
to find them, to trace, I don't know, the powder or like some sort of compass or a magnifying,
Yeah.
a mini telescope, like I don't know.
I think less likely something with a significant footprint like that. I think probably I've already got binoculars with like changeable lenses of various types, either for close up or far uh, seeing. But I think more likely than that, it would be some kind of a whistle or a beacon, something that wouldn't be immediately obvious, could sound something like birdsong, but perhaps is a signal that the Legion uses. Um, that might be a better way to let them know, not that it's safe to come out necessarily, but that there's people
Way.
who have their back. Yeah.
I like the sound of that. I don't know if the quartermaster would let you have uh like a looking glass. For some reason, dark fantasy seems to believe that like shaped glass is just like
Mm.
in D&D it's 1,000 gold for some reason I have never had explained to me successfully.
But I can
Um
carve a whistle from a carrot, so we're good.
absolutely. Yeah. Um I like the sound of that. Let's wait, what? Carve a whistle out of a carrot is the oddest thing. Really?
No, that a spyglass is 1,000 gold in D&D.
Yeah,
What?
no. Yeah, D&D
What?
like tell us like a spyglass is like 1,000 gold. It's the stupidest thing.
That makes no sense.
Apparently shaped glass is a lost technology.
Yeah,
But
there's no evidence this was available in medieval times in real life at
Yeah.
all.
in this game, however, it's represented by load, and you just don't have let me see. What all do you have for light and normal load?
I do
Yeah.
have to hop off because it is
Oh, that's right. I'm
5:15
so sorry.
and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I've got to do something. But
Um,
Scarlet has a plan. Feel free to run with it.
fantastic. Ben, thank you for joining us. Um,
Bye.
um, uh, Jazzy, if you could pop in and uh yeah, just roll Scarlet's rig just as a fortune roll. And we'll just see if there's like enough stuff lying around to like scrabble together something to produce a sign for a countersign.
Rig. I'll do risky standard, but
Yeah, yeah.
But look at all those ones.
I think this
it's a
dice roller is
fortune roll. It doesn't really
broken.
matter.
I think this dice roller is broken. What is this? What is this?
To
This
be
is
honest, it's the only thing Scarlet's good at. It's the only thing she can do.
um yeah, so I think what we see is Scarlet cobble together yeah, a whistle made out of a carrot. And she produces this sign. Um and I think we hear uh like a corresponding whistle. I think you still have to get to them. Ben, you haven't given me a terrain feature yet. What's a fun terrain feature that could be out in this area that a couple soldiers might be hiding in? Or another old empire building?
Yeah, we haven't had a good barrow yet that I've heard of here. So I think there's a half collapsed ancient barrow.
Ah, if only we had time, we could go dungeon diving. But alas, we do not. Yeah, there's a barrow, a barrow hill, not too far away, but it is open ground and silver's flying overhead. Now, Gray, you mentioned wanting to like possibly get a closer look at this infamous, if I remember correctly, right? It was a good opportunity too. Do you want to follow up on that at all? He's here, but I don't know if you want to piss him off or if you want to like look around and see if there's any other evidence as to stuff. Do you have any thoughts? Or do you just want to get in and get the soldiers and get out?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Is one person going or is the whole squad going? Right now you've got kind of a safe spot. I say safe. The undead would have checked this area and upon not finding them here, begun a search outward. But I don't think they are actively in this location, mostly because of time. I think they would have moved on. But I do think there are
yeah.
go as a group. Cool. You have to cross open ground, and there's always the possibility that Silver or other undead can see you and put you guys in a bad situation, a fighty type situation. How do you want to avoid them? Or do you want to avoid them? Or do you want to just go in guns blazing? I don't know if you want to do that. You're behind enemy lines.
Yeah. Maybe like instead of traveling as a cluster, kind of spreading out a little bit, so that if we are spotted, it's not the group being spotted. They might think that like, oh, there is a person out there instead of a squad.
Okay. I'm trying to think of what that looks like mechanics wise. Is this still like a group scout, a group maneuver, a single scout, a single maneuver?
We're not trying to be seen. Maneuver feels right.
Okay. Or I mean, it's technically a coordinated effort, so Marshall could also apply here as well. But sure, I'm willing to call it group maneuver if we want to.
Yeah.
Then yeah, let's call it, for time's sake, let's call it a group maneuver check. So everybody load up maneuver on a it's risky. Standard effect. No assists because again it's a group check. And the threat here is that Silver sees you and engages an attack, which we'll have to resolve next session if that's the case. Or some other undead. But yeah. But there's what? What is this? What is this nonsense? Cole, I'm gonna need a
all around
as well.
I rolled.
Oh, we did?
I also got a 6.
Wait, what? This is not this.
We need the officer here because I think the officer can make that into a crit then if you do a group one.
They have like a special, I think it's a special ability that they can take. But yeah, that is a thing that officers can do, and it's stupid. It's so good. I hate it. It's fantastic. But okay, yeah, sure. Well, that's our session today, guys. No, I mean it is just because of time, and that was going to be our last roll unless it spotted you because Jazzy's not going to be here next session. So I really wanted to make sure we wrapped this up. But you know, let's have some fun with the narration. Each of you chime in on like just give me a quick little vignette of like how you avoid your threats here are, you know, the undead. There's probably, let's just say there's like a couple hexed on horses on horseback that, you know, you still see like riding about, but you also see Silver overhead. Yeah, but how did, like, just each of you chime in on like a moment where you avoid danger.
I think Gray, I mean, just due to their quiet cat feet, there's like maybe it's even like finding a place to stick while a horse goes by, and then like almost like even like shadowing them a little bit, so like they can't hear, but I'm like out of their vision.
I think leaning on that barrow, there's that we get a shot of the whole crew in the shadow just inside the entranceway. There's glances back at the darkness beyond, but Adramir is at the front looking up, and as soon as we see Silver passing by overhead, a signal, and he'll get everyone moving. But there's a little reticence maybe from Kole to just follow.
Yeah, I think he is still sort of almost like a little stuck in that moment, like what just happened. But following. Um, and then I think we will see another moment of avoidance. I think it's very like video game like, where I think it's like it seems almost like it's spotted us and it keeps sort of going in our direction. And Mark, if you're okay with it, I think we see Gray like aim like further away, maybe like sort of that semi-forest, or maybe even to that watchtower, and just one shot goes off, and I think we see like something crumble from the watchtower, and immediately like Silver's head snaps towards it and flies in that
Okay.
direction, the opposite where we're going.
Awesome. You successfully get the two rookies. You've already made your way in. We're not going to worry too much about getting you back through enemy lines. It's a little bit easier to get out from behind enemy lines than it is to get into them. The two soldiers are incredibly thankful, of course, for being reunited. There's tears and hugging, and these are two soldiers. These were two of the veterans of the fight. They unfortunately lost everyone else in their deployments. Of the 15 probably that had been in their squad, because squads were larger when you had 1,000 people. They're the only two left, and they were sort of like the commanding and junior not officers, but the ranking veterans. And that's what we get. We get you back to camp, back to the Legion. So thank you for playing. This is obviously an interesting session. Trying out sort of this idea that like Forged in the Dark is something you're supposed to be able to not need to do a lot of prep for. So that was kind of the ethos going into this. It was very stressful, but it wasn't, we survived. So yeah, stars and wishes, whoever wants to go. Actually, my star is going to go to Ben Adramir, checking on the sigil, was the real highlight of the session for me. I loved that. Again, I wish I had a little bit more sort of like mentally prepped for like what happens when you go into Breaker's mind space, but maybe next time I will. Now that I know that is a thing. But also, stars to everybody for just like your contributions to like scene elements. Communicating visual physical space is something that I've learned I'm not great at doing. So by having you guys kind of do it for me, it lives in your head, and I just need to worry about the mechanics of getting the narrations to where they need to go. So yeah. But that requires a certain level of buy-in and play along, and you all bought in and played along. So yeah. And wishes, well, definitely more Breaker shenanigans. Let's go. All gas, no brakes, in mind hackery. Jazzy, Sai will not get to see you next session, but campaign phase, I don't know, more Horse Lord shenanigans, I guess. More Horse Lord politics. Why not? I think that's my wish, but turn it over.
Yeah, I can go. First of all, if I looked annoyed during the session, it's this fucking yarn. It's not y'all. This is what I get for buying thrift store yarn for 40 cents. It's on me. No, yeah, I mean, obviously, I loved the Adramir. I loved you just going for it. I think that's just a very interesting like story thread that we have set up, and I'm very happy to see you like lean into it more and see that evolve. Where it went from, and also just I like Adramir immediately like using it to be smug and be like, "Oh, you thought you could come into my head? Well, screw you, I'm in yours now." It's very funny. And I loved Star for both Ben and Kevin. That moment with the Shadow Witch where Ben, you were like, I think I'm afraid that they're doing this against their that they are also here against their will and they're being compelled or however forced to do this. And then Kevin immediately, yes, ending that with that I'm sorry, and then dying, like, how dare you? Very, very dark fantasy, very the vibes TM. Um, Mark, yeah, I really liked Gray's Stalking Roots. I think you have a very tactical approach to this game that always comes out that I think is really interesting. I like as a commander, like how you use those intel questions, and I'm just very impressed that you can decide so quickly what we're gonna do. That would take me a whole hour and then I would like change my mind 70 times. So that's just very impressive to me that you can do that. I am happy that you picked this one. I was hoping that we'd get to do this one. And I just, yeah, I love just how creative you are with the sniper and make sure that they're never just like a one trick ponying of, yeah, I shoot. Like there's like so much more to Gray Stalking Route, which I think is very fun to see. Yeah, Kevin, I like that moment with the witch. I I loved what you were like, getting the horse lords to do something not glory to make them like go away from glory. Like that's I'm not gonna say no, but it's gonna be really hard. That was very funny. And like to stay true to who these people are. Yeah, just fun session. Wish um star to other Ben. I'll put it in a chat so he can see it. But I thought that moment with the trap, the flashback, and then like seeing that trap in action from Scarlet, that was really, really cool. We didn't see that much from Scarlet in this session, so Wish would be hopefully she can join us for another mission or in the campaign phase and we get to see a bit more of her. Um, Wish, yeah, I'm interested to see how this Cole Adramir situation evolves because they have like this blood oath going on, so they're sort of bonded that way, but now there's also a growing distrust. Is Cole going to accept that, or are we going into the no, Adramir would never kind of naivete that might get him killed because it did happen. I'm sure whatever direction we go, it'll be tragic and I'll love it. But I'm interested to see where that goes. Yeah, and I'll just that's it for wishes because I won't be here next session. So I'll see when I get back what I've got.
I'll go. Thanks for letting me just slide in almost halfway through the session. It was a little disorienting, but I feel like everyone helped me get my feet under myself pretty quick, and that was fun to see. To kind of jump in media res was also an interesting experience. I like every time we get a mention of Gray Stalking Roots, quiet little cat feet. I don't know why it disturbs me so much, but I like that. The the distrust, as mentioned, between Kole and Adramir is fun, and I'm looking forward to the complications to their relationship, which we've already established is a little tense, and all for making it more tense. The scene with the glyph and getting into Breaker's head a little bit was fun, and thank you, Kevin, for letting me do a weird thing and maybe starting another weird project. I'm definitely looking forward to getting more laborers so we can get these clocks ticking up faster and we can break the game even more. Ooh. I will make a note about Weave and look into that again. Wishes, just looking forward to seeing. I enjoy the campaign phase, so I'm looking forward to that in general. But this tension that I'm sure is brewing between everyone now that Adramir might have been compromised, might be compromising himself. That's going to raise some questions, and that'll be fun to play when we get to meet with the other camp personalities. Yeah, good times.
Yeah. Echo all the things. It was neat to see Gray in a leadership position. I don't know how suited they are to it, but like, okay, we're gonna do this thing my way, and seemed to work out fine. It's probably gonna work out fine all the time. Yeah, I love the glyph scene and all the vision stuff, and just leaning into all that weirdness. That was great. Getting to see all the little facets of everyone. Yeah, it's a good time all around. Wishes. I don't really have any. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. It's great.
Awesome. Thank you. Also, star to Ben, because the commander asked a question from Intel Questions about what are the obstacles we might face on one of the other missions. And I had said, oh, you can't trust the horses. They
Right.
might already be hexed. And then when you joined the call and was like, oh, devil's bargain, you can't trust the horses. I'm like, yes, same brain cell. That was really fun. It made me smile. I'm like, oh, yay. That was cool. Fantastic. So that is our stars and wishes. If you have any more, of course, feel free to post them in the channel. Let Benham, who I'm just now calling Benham, rhymes with Venom, and that makes me smile. Let him know stuff you liked about his play as well. And I will see you all next week, except for Jazzy. But I will see all the rest of you next week for campaign phase. Marshall, yeah. If you just want to deputize somebody to act in your interest, Marshall doesn't do a whole lot during campaign phase. So we should be fine, but in case. But I look forward to seeing you all when I see you next. And until then, have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye.